Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we appreciate you guys coming on big time. Thank you. Much, much appreciated. And let's say hello to a few friends here. And guess who's number one? Andrea, Niagara Falls. Brahim, number two. Let's see if Michael made it. No? Sandy, you made the Trinity. From Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Bonjour. Karen, Peterborough, how are you? Wendy from Wasaga Beach. Donna from Park Hill. Good morning, Donna. Shelley, Sherwood Park, Alberta. Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Nick from our staff. There's Mike from Norland. Fran, Orangeville. How are you? Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. There's our buddy Kevin from Oshawa. April, good morning. Wendy from Markham. Never heard of you, Wendy. Wendy from London. How are you? Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Lori and Ryan, Sarasota, Florida. Dave, Muskoka. Sylvia, Mississippi. Annette, how are you? New Brunswick. Carol, West Virginia. I want to sing. Carol from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Debbie, Quebec. David, Jensen Beach, Florida. I know exactly where that is. Jude, Bev, Saskatchewan. Patricia, and Leela from Verna. Whenever I think of Verna, Leela, I think of you. Yvonne, Petawawa. Sandy, Amber, New Jersey. Thea, how are you? Nativity, and Patricia from Florida. Margaret, Lakeland. Nice to have you on. Jean, Peterborough. And Nina, Chatham. John, John's from Elgin, Illinois. Hi, John. I must have missed you. Lorraine, Donna, Bell Valley. A couple of more, guys. And Moncton, New Brunswick. And Myra. Donna, how are you? Judy, Port Perry. Wanda, Virginia. Sharon from Kansas. You got in the clouds, eh, Sharon? Roma, how are you, Roma? Lisa Marie, Roma's from Brampton. And Brandon, Karen. Okay, Suzanne, Edmonton. I missed somebody there. Donna. Okay, we got lots on. Thank you guys for coming on. Fran from Tilsonburg. Okay, I got several studies. I don't know how many I'm going to get through, but let me go through a couple here. I might have mentioned this one. I can't even remember. In just 3 weeks, okay, listen to how toxic sugar is. 1 soda a day for 3 weeks will elevate your CRP, your inflammation marker, in 3 weeks. Okay? C-reactive protein is a test that you should get done. Now, if you get my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, I wrote that in that book. I wrote about the importance of your blood work and how to interpret your blood work. Guys, the price of that book is worth it for at least the one chapter. Now, you know, it's Sun, Steak, and Steel, and it's been a bestseller, and we thank you guys for that. And, okay, and in that book, there's a chapter on what blood tests. You know the in the United States, there's commercials on TV. It always surprises. I shouldn't say surprise me anymore, but you know the commercials that say, "Ask your doctor if this drug is good for me." I don't understand why you would have to ask your doctor. Okay, your doctor ought to know. But anyway, the pharmaceutical industry must know what they're doing. So these advertisements are not really meant for your doctor, by the way, okay? And they're not really meant for you as much as they're meant, from what I've read, for the TV stations. They want to make sure that they influence television and the reporters. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. What is it? 60 to 80% of all commercials are pharmaceutical commercials on TV. But anyway, back to the main point. Ask your doctor if this drug is good for me. But guys, here's the question to ask your doctor. Can you do this blood test for me? Okay? Really important. And guys, at the end of the day, whether you live in Canada, the United States, or anywhere else, we on this program try to emphasize that you need to take control of your own health. You know, when you get on an airplane, okay, and one of the reasons I got to cut out early a little bit today, I got to go pick up my grandsons at the airport. 3 of my youngest ones, okay? Anyway, you know when you get on the plane and you don't even watch it, because I've been on a plane so many times I don't even think about it. They said, in case of oxygen, in case the rare instance that you would need oxygen on this plane, the mask will descend from above. And you know what they tell you to do? Put the oxygen mask on first before you're helping anyone else. Okay? And that's meant for mothers. Mom, if you got a kid beside you, guess who's getting that mask first? The kid. But they're making a good point. They're saying, you know what? You ain't going to be much good to anyone else unless you put the oxygen on first, and then you can take care of anyone else. But guys, at the end of the day, when it comes to your health, my parents' generation, you know who they relied on? The doctor. My doctor said. My doctor said. And everything the doctor said, they believed. Okay? Not my dad so much. I lived in an alternative medicine home. But you know what I'm saying. You know, the doctor says, I got to be on statin drugs the rest of my life. They don't even question it. But what I try and do, information, guys, is power. Because it provides you choices. And all I try and do is educate my audience so that they can make choices, especially with food. So at the end of the day, guys, one thing I want you to get down, because we are really emphasizing, one thing about the Martin Clinic, okay, when I was working in the Martin Clinic, we didn't guess, we tested, okay? We tested. I had about, I can't remember how many biomarkers I tested on every patient. Every patient. I wanted to know your insulin. I wanted to know your estrogen. I wanted to know your triglycerides. I wanted to know your HDL. I wanted to know your CRP. I wanted to know these things. Your uric acid. Very, very, very important biomarkers. Guys, you guys know this. Understand your biomarkers. Okay? You don't have to have a medical degree. You just get my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. And we put that in there. And I explain. You can look at your numbers and see. But the most important thing is you got to ask your doctor, because a lot of times they won't do these tests. They won't do a B12, most doctors, unless you ask them for it. They certainly won't do vitamin D unless you ask them for it. And even when you ask, sometimes they don't want it. Guys, if you have to pay for a vitamin D test, it could save your life. Okay? It could save your life. Anyway, back to the topic, CRP, C-reactive protein. I've been talking about this for over 30 years, the C-reactive protein test. It's an inflammation marker. Now, what do we talk about in inflammation all the time? It ain't Houdini. It ain't Houdini. Someone sent me a question yesterday about CRP. And why is that CRP high? Doc? Okay? Why would that even be high? Well, there's always a reason for it. Okay? All the other biomarkers are fantastic. Why would a CRP be high? Well, there's always a reason for it. Because it measures inflammation. And this particular person had, I think it was spinal stenosis or, back pain and back degeneration. Well, that'll do it. But because inflammation a lot of times is silent, it's good to know what your CRP is. Because inflammation inflammation is good for you if you have a fever. Okay? It's good to have a fever. If you have a bug, your CRP will go high. Why? Because it's your body's ambulance system. It's on your side. What about if you scrape your knee? You fall, you scrape your knee. Well, you're going to get inflammation, but it's on your side. It's bringing extra blood supply, extra enzymes, extra protein, all those things to the area to heal. But what if it doesn't go away? That's the type of inflammation I'm talking about. And that can be destructive. Inflammation left unattended is not good for you. It's not good for you. It can damage blood vessels. It can damage tissue. And it's linked to heart disease and cancer and Alzheimer's. It's not the cause, but it's a big factor. Okay? It's a big factor. I remember a friend of mine, Jack Chalem. C-H-A-L-L-E-M. I went to Europe with him. He was an investigative health reporter. Very smart guy. I had him on my radio show. He passed away several years ago now. But man, this guy was smart, and he wrote a book on inflammation way back in, I'm going to say 2002 or 2004. I had him on my radio show after he wrote the book. And we talked about inflammation. Man, that guy had done so much research on inflammation. And most doctors, they didn't even know what he was talking about. And he was a big believer in the CRP test, the C-reactive protein. I remember sitting beside him on an airplane on the way to Europe. Man, that guy, he picked my brain. But I was picking his brain too. He was sharp as a tack. He used to do a newsletter on health. Bring out the latest research. I used that resource on my radio show for many, many years. Okay, back to the CRP. Drinking 1 soda a day. Sugar soda a day for 3 weeks will elevate your inflammation marker. And I bet you, if you were to drink orange juice every day for 3 weeks, it would elevate your CRP too. Don't drink juice. God doesn't want you to drink juice. He wants you to eat fruit, but not drink it. I've always said that. Okay, that's number 1. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to start on the other ones because there are too many, okay? Now, guys, this is a shortened version, I know, okay? But grandchildren are calling. I got to get there and pick them up. They're so cute. You know, if I'd have known grandchildren are that much fun, we'd have had them first. That's how much fun they are. Okay, guys, so get your CRP, C-reactive protein, comes out of your liver. Your liver makes C-reactive protein. Okay? And you can get that blood marker done. It's important that you do. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go on a shortened version today. We love you. Send in your questions. What is Friday? Question and answer Friday. Okay? Talk to you soon.